Okay, here's another question about dragons. In January, we held the Awakening of White Dragon ceremonies in Japan
Mhm.
at Mount Fuji and also in Amano Hashidaki. And is there a connection between this dragon activation and 1111 on Amur?
Oh, good question. Good. Yes, of course. It's very interesting. I didn't go further, but these ceremonies that we're doing in November, they have to be done by the family of An. And there's one ceremony that has to be done by the elders of An, which is the highest level that can still incarnate on the planet. Beyond that, you can't physically incarnate. Somehow we have to embody that. But the other component of there's the 1111 starry family. They're the people that did the 1111 activations for over 20 years. And some of them are coming. And some of them don't know anything about An. They were planting the seeds, but the seeds didn't come up in them because a lot of them are older and like first wave and stuff. Then we have the family of An. Then we have the white dragon. And the white dragon is always, it's like a wild card. You know, the wild dragon isn't subject to any rules or behaviors or regulations. The white dragon has total freedom to do what it knows to be true. And the white dragon is so pure and so real, with such integrity of being. And it comes in and does things that we wouldn't know how to do, we wouldn't be capable of doing. And for the white dragon, it's just easy. It's light. It does everything with lightness, even very strong, heavy things. And we're very fortunate that the white dragon is also woven into this. So it's, again, the 1111 story family, the family of An, the white dragon. These are the key components. The 1111 door has never been closed before. And to close it, okay, we have the two evolutionary spirals that we overlapped in 1992. You'd think, oh, it's easy, we just loosen them and they go separate. But it doesn't happen that way. What they do instead is they not just merge, it's not a merger like that. It's more like coming together in a different way that creates something that's never been here before. And as that gets created, then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we can access what's beyond. I don't know how we physically do that, but it will come by our ceremonies. Yeah. No, the white dragon, going to Japan and having those beautiful, exquisite ceremonies. And the white dragon came in so beautifully and lovingly and with such power and strength and compassion. And of course, love, massive love, was a huge blessing. And it was something that was really timely and needed. And ever since then, the white dragon sightings all over the world are so strong. I mean, people see them in so many countries, and they're more obvious and they're more, you know. I don't know. Whenever I see a white dragon here, often it's on times where I'm tired or too much work or whatever, and then I go outside, look up at the sky, and there it is, like or several, really playful and really beautiful, and they just say, "All is well. It's okay." But the white dragon is the supreme dragon. So it's not just the white dragon. The white dragon is going to activate all the dragons of the elements and merge them together. The white dragon is probably the most powerful agent of transformation that is on this planet that I know of, at least right now.